Hey guys, a lot of bullets here with the ARK Reddit podcast. I'm going to call it that for now. We'll just think of a name later. But I'm making this as a response to a request on Reddit that someone said they wanted to hear a podcast and, maybe spark some discussion when it comes to that. But here I am, and I'm just going to talk, a couple of things this episode. I'm just going to lay the foundation. This is a kind of a test the waters episode. See what you guys like, see what you guys don't like. I'm currently just by myself on this one. In the future, I can add in some friends and we can talk more about, the game and all that good stuff. So for this episode, it'll be solo. I'm just going to talk about some of the framework for kind of the podcast and just some things in general that have been on my mind. And so, yeah, I guess just the framework of the podcast is currently, I'm just going to do this for about 10, 15 minutes or so. I'm going to just do some light editing and ship it on to, probably just going to post it on Reddit and have a download link to the MP3. Also, we'll have it on YouTube, so we're going to have a double, like a YouTube and on like Mediafire or something, so you can download it on your phone. I don't really know a better way. I mean, if you guys know of another website that I can upload this to and just have it stream as an MP3, let me know. I'll make that as easy as possible. So, with all that out of the way, I'm going to plan on doing this maybe once a week, once every other week. Kind of depends as demand grows and also what I have to talk about. I really like this game so far, first of all. So I've been playing this game for about 2 weeks now, and I just love it. This game is just awesome. So, yeah, I mean, just there's a lot to talk about. So first things first is, in the 2 weeks that I have been playing, the game has gone up so many patches. I mean, I was in, when I first started playing, like I said, 2 weeks ago, it was patch 178 or something, and now we're up to 184. That's just crazy. It's like every day the dev team is coming out with something new, whether that's performance increases, bug fixes, new dino dossiers, new, a whole stone tier was just released, just this past week, a couple days ago. And it's like, all these little things this dev team is doing really makes me appreciate how much work they put into it. When you compare this game to other games like Rust and DayZ, Reign of Kings, what have you, these games just kind of lack a common thing. And it's across all three of those games, really. And the reason I call those three out is because they are the biggest in the survival, multiplayer survival game right now. ARK is challenging it. I mean, ARK was a huge seller during the Steam Summer Sale, and the game is so new. It's been out for a month. I might be wrong on that. It's been over a month, I think. But there's just not a whole lot there, so far to the game, and in terms of how long it's been there. Comparatively, DayZ standalone's been out for over a year. Rust has been around for 2.5 years or so. Reign of Kings has been out for 6 months, 8 months, something like that. And already ARK has more content than all three of those games. Maybe not Rust. I mean, Rust is actually making some right moves to get back to the point where they originally wanted to be in their development. But I mean, when you look at ARK, and it blows them out of the water, in my opinion, just because there's so much to do. And I don't know if it's just because they released such an empty game and now they're just filling it in, and this is what we expect. And I don't know if Rust launched with more. DayZ launched with. I would play it with both those games on launch, the Rust update on launch. But it's like this game had so much more to offer when I started playing it, which was about 2 to 3 weeks into the game's life, than I've had with DayZ standalone. DayZ standalone, they came out with cars 8 months ago, and that was when the game was out for over a year. It's actually closer to 2 years out for DayZ than it is for, the 1 year. They're getting really close to this point where it's I don't even know what's the point of playing other survival games right now. And I'm not saying that as a way to, knock ARK or anything, or try to, beat the other games down and build up ARK as a result. But it's in comparison, ARK is really attacking a very oversaturated market of multiplayer survival, and is, in my opinion, hit that point where it's just this game is doing everything right so far. I don't have much to complain about. I play on a private server. I dabbled in the official servers, but I play on a private server, and I enjoy the hell out of it. I play with my friends, and we just enjoy this game so much when we play together. Comparatively, you look at DayZ, the map is massive. I mean, this map is also pretty big. But the DayZ map is massive. You spend hours trying to meet up, and when you meet up, you could die to something random. Players are always out to kill you. People are unfriendly. In this game, for the most part, all player interactions I've had have been pretty friendly, even on the official servers. I don't know if it's just because the game's new, they want to, promote community or something. But like I said, every interaction in this game has been really positive. Comparatively, in Rust, you just get shot at right away. You're a fresh spawn with a rock, you get killed. It's like, what does that really do? What do you gain from that? And honestly, what do you lose? Well, in ARK, if you get killed really early on, you don't lose a whole lot. I mean, you don't. It's not like you lose everything. Whereas in those games, you die, you lose it all. So I don't know the way that this game has attacked the angle of multiplayer survival games. I saw some footage, and I was largely unconvinced that this game was going to be anything different than your typical DayZ or Rust. I was like, this game is not going to be there. But now that I've played it for a while, I can really understand and appreciate the value this game has. I mean, the leveling system itself is just such a unique take on the genre. It gives it, the leveling just makes the game feel a little bit more like you have more invested in your character. There's so much more invested in your character that can't be taken away from you, which makes, player interaction as a whole. It's like if you need something from somebody, instead of killing them and taking it from them, you can provide them materials and have them make something for you. Like, that in and of itself is such a backwards way of thinking that it actually makes, symbiotic relationships appear in this game. You look at DayZ, what are you going to gain from somebody by having them be alive compared to when they're dead? Like, can you name anything? No, I personally can't, I would, if there's a guy in DayZ that I see and I don't know who he is, I'm probably going to kill him. Probably. And I'm a friendly guy, but I've lost so much hours of progress and so many things have gone wrong just by, putting a little bit of faith, a little bit of trust in somebody. In this game, I put my faith, I put my trust in somebody, and it's been really good so far. I've been able to trust people to come out to my base, and they know where my base is, and they don't mess with me. They help me out, they give me supplies, they let me borrow a mount or something. Like, it's just, or not really borrow, but they take me to places and stuff like that. It's a very, very healthy culture. And I don't know if that's just because of I'm playing on a private server. I mean, I played on a private server in DayZ, I played on private servers in Rust, but none of them have really compared to playing on a private server on ARK so far. I mean, on ARK so far, it's just been a lot of really friendly people just working together and playing in their own niches, which is awesome. So, I will say, with all that being said, the game is there's a lot of stuff to do. The game currently, even on the official servers, this is actually more so for the official servers, the game is a massive time sink. It's a great game, it has a lot of body, a lot of depth, but you have to invest so much time. I'm 80 hours in and I'm not even 65 yet. On the server I play on. I'm at level 52, I think, 51 or 52. And 65 is still 13 levels away, comparatively to other games, it's like I could reach endgame in like 10 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours. In this game, endgame takes you 80, 90, 100. And that's the difference maker here in this game, is that you get a much better game, but you have to put much more time into it. So with that being said, is this game really the survival game right now that's beating everything else out? And I honestly think so. And I think a lot of it comes back to the development team and their hard work to make this game better than all the others. Also, with that being said, Unreal Engine 4, they're pushing the envelope with this engine. I appreciate what they've done. You play this game on medium or low, and you're like, wow. On low it's kind of bad, but you play it on medium and above, and this game looks absolutely fantastic. You're not going to get shit for frames, but the game looks really good, right? So that's just something that, the Unreal 4 engine, or the Unreal Engine 4 is going to have to, they're going to have to work with it. They're going to have to work with the limitations of the engine and iron out all the kinks. And one thing that I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about, this was brought up by one of my friends who's very smart when it comes to graphics and just really computer games in general, is he said that the game is really built almost entirely out of objects and stuff and models in Unreal Engine 4. Like, if you ever played with the Unreal Engine 4 development tools, they pretty much made a game just out of the tools and art assets. Like, pretty much the game that you're thinking of is, like, the interface, the leveling system, and the art. Everything else, apparently, according to my friend, this is what he thinks. I don't know if he's right, like I said, but I'm pretty sure he is. The rest of it is all Unreal Engine 4. And that's why the game is so poorly optimized, is because it's pretty much, they're just making it, just right there. I can't really explain it in a way that makes a lot of sense, but if you know what I'm talking about, if you make a game in an editor, right, in a game engine, if you just plop it in and you make it really complicated and you start playing with it, everything's gonna be really, really, really unoptimized. That's when you have to go back and you have to change the way things work. I mean, grass itself was a 3D object until one of the most recent patches. It was a 3D object. It had polygons, okay? And if you don't know, you can only fit so many polygons on the screen before the scene starts to get really laggy. So that was one thing that they did recently, is they changed grass from being 3D to being 2D, and it doesn't it doesn't react to player movement and stuff like it did before. So it's like you get a trade-off there. But honestly, the massive performance increase is a result of the grass not interacting as well as it did before. Actually increases the frames, and I think it's actually worth it overall. Another thing that people have been saying that is kind of untrue to some extent, they're making wrong assumptions about, is they say there's water underneath the map, so if they just got rid of the water, it would make the game run smoother. And the actual truth behind that is that Unreal Engine 4 is really, really good at dealing with very, very large, bits, or I can't remember the terminology. They're tiles, I suppose. It's good at rendering very, very big tiles. Okay, think of the ocean underneath the land in the game that you can't access to unless you glitch underneath it. Think of that as just being one big square of water, and it doesn't really have to be super detailed. Okay, the way water works in Unreal Engine 4 is that you lay water down, and then you lay down the land that you want, and the water it literally just goes through the land. So there are some spots in the game world where there's actually water above land, there's invisible water, for lack of a better term, is you're walking through and then you're underwater. And that is all because of how the engine works with water. So that's one thing that they'll have to fix. They'll have to tweak the map a little bit, maybe raise some spots, elevation. Perhaps maybe there's make the water underneath the map super undetailed so it doesn't take up frames. But honestly, the biggest thing about this game that's causing a lot of lag and frame rate issues is the lighting and the skybox. The skybox is insane in this game. If you turn up the sky quality, if you were able to pull the camera out and just free look around, the sky is insanely detailed. It's not just a picture. People or skyboxes in the past were really just rendered pictures, right? The skybox in this game actually has motion to it. The clouds are actually particles. I'm pretty sure they're particles that move. And they have, that they actually move, and there's storms, and there's lots of stuff going on in the game that, is super advanced and super frame hungry. Also, the lighting issue is that there's global lighting. I can't remember the exact terminology, but pretty much all the objects react to light in a slightly different way that causes the game to look amazing. Okay, shadows also have this effect. They work off the light, but the lighting in the game is extremely detailed, but it's also very, very, very frame hungry because it has every object in the game react with light. So that's whenever you see those FPS guys or whatever tell you to just if you can't handle it, just turn off all the shadows and nuke the lighting, is because the lighting is 90% of the game's rendering. Okay, 90% is kind of an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. It's been about 15 minutes now, but pretty much to sum this up, I think the devs are going in the right direction. They've now come out with a dev toolkit for people, so now people can start making their own maps and start doing all sorts of cool things. It's going to be a really good game if they continue down this path and continue supporting the game like they have. So yeah, I mean that's really my thoughts on it. I thought it'd be a good idea to go into the first one and just kind of praise the game, talk about it in in a comparative sense. We'll get into more specific things later on. I think in the next episode, someone wanted to talk about like leveling up or in the early game. Should I take this versus this? I'll talk about engram paths and all that kind of stuff in future episodes. But if you have any comments, any suggestions, please let me know in the Reddit comment thread or on my YouTube channel, whichever you prefer. I will read everything and get back to you guys with feedback on that. So yeah, once again, thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next episode.